She stood before the mirror, tilting her head slightly as she fastened her earrings, each movement smooth, effortless, almost casual, like she was getting ready for an ordinary night out. I sat on a couch nearby, bent over, tying my sneakers. In my mind, I had pictured the evening differently. A quiet dinner, maybe sharing the highlights of our week, a brief moment of peace after the long stretch of stress and routine. But before I could fully settle into that vision, she shattered it with a single sentence. With a tone so steady, so devoid of hesitation, she said, "I have a date." It was as if she told me she was stepping out for groceries. That was how naturally the words fell from her lips. For a moment, I thought I must have misheard. 3 years of shared nights, lazy weekends, caring for each other through fevers and fights, all undone in a single flat announcement. "Excuse me?" My voice cracked, confusion spilling out more than anger. She met my reflection in the mirror, eyes steady, as if stating a simple fact. "I have a date," she repeated, adding a half shrug. "We're not really together anymore, are we?" That dismissive tilt of her shoulders cut deeper than words ever could. It wasn't just what she said. It was a casual way she brushed away years of us, like we were nothing but dust on her sleeve. That was the instant something inside me shifted. I stood slowly, deliberately, and reached for my keys. She glanced over her shoulder, that faint, almost smug smile tugging at her lips. She probably expected me to beg, to crumble before her, to plead her not to go. Maybe she wanted that final proof of control. But instead, I looked at the woman I had once believed I'd spend my life with and said quietly, "That's fine, because I didn't know how to tell you I've been seeing someone too." I watched as the color drained from her face, her smile vanishing instantly. Her eyebrows shot up, her lips parted, and yet no words came. For the first time in weeks, she was defenseless, stripped of her sharp comebacks. I saw the flicker of panic, the way she gripped her purse a little too tightly. "You're lying," she finally managed, her voice trembling. I shook my head. "I don't need to lie. I met someone who listens, someone who doesn't scroll through their phone while I talk." I let the words hang for a beat before finishing. "I just didn't want to hurt you. I guess you didn't have the same concern." With that, I opened the door. I lingered a heartbeat, giving her the chance to speak, to say anything. But she didn't. She just stood there, lips slightly parted, as though she'd forgotten how. For the first time, I could tell she wasn't as ready to move on as she convinced herself. I stepped outside and let the door close softly behind me. No dramatic slam, no final gesture, just a quiet click, like a whispered goodbye to everything we once were. I didn't message her. I didn't block her. I didn't check her updates. I let the silence sit between us, let her feel what it was like to lose control. Days passed. Then, a week later, my phone lit up with a single word. "Hey." I stared at it, feeling nothing I could name. What could I even say to the person who had broken something inside me? Though I'd pieced myself back together, I wasn't the same. The version of me who would have once chased her had simply stopped running. I didn't reply. I let the message fade into the background, like a voice I no longer needed to hear. Life moved on. I started seeing the other woman slowly, carefully, without rushing. She wasn't a storm. She wasn't flashy. She was steady, attentive, honest, the kind of person who truly listened without making everything about herself. Nothing extravagant, just sincerity, and that felt like the rarest gift. The more time I spent with her, the more I realized how long I had endured a relationship where I always felt like I was walking on eggshells. Sometimes, late at night, I think back to that moment, her words, delivered like nothing, unaware that they would shift everything forever. I wonder if she ever regretted it, if she even went on that date. Maybe she did. Maybe it was a disaster. Or maybe she sat alone, replaying my words, realizing for the first time that she wasn't the only one capable of walking away with dignity.